It was a fine day, and I was preparing dinner with my children because my husband was coming home from his 1-month business trip. Joshua, Jaren, can you please help mommy with the dishes? I call my sons and ask for their help. I am cooking all of my husband's favorite foods. I want this night to be grand and joyful by having a family feast. My sons went to the kitchen immediately. I'm on it, Mom. Is there anything I can help you with, Mom? Yes, can you set up the dining table, please? Thank you. They instantly obeyed my instruction and did their tasks. I am so blessed to have such responsible and thoughtful kids. Both of my 2 boys were so excited to reunite with their father. I could see their eagerness to give their father a warm homecoming. I wonder what Dad bought home for me. I hope it's a new video game. You have so many games already. I hope he buys us a dog. I want one. Hearing their conversation, I could sense the excitement in their voices. Even me, I couldn't wait to welcome my husband back. This has been the longest that we have been away from each other, and I do miss him so much. Oh, Mom, you know what? It's better if we have a younger sister so that she'll be the one doing the dishes. My eldest son jokingly said, but Jiron, the youngest, scoffed. So what? So you can play your video games all day long and do nothing? No, not like that. Having a sister means you can have someone reliable and responsible. It's a good thing, you know. I am so sorry because you are stuck with a brother. Jaron teased his elder brother by tickling him on the side and ran away. Joshua ran after him. They were running around the house while playfully teasing each other. I laughed with them as well. To have this beautiful view every day is such a blessing. I received a text from my husband. It was already 7 in the evening and he had just landed at the airport. He will be at home in 30 minutes. Boys, your father is arriving soon. Enough of the running. Calm yourselves down. They stopped running and sat on the sofa with heavy pants and cheerful giggles. Meanwhile, I was giving the table set up with some finishing touches. And after precisely 30 minutes, a car parked on the driveway. It is him. Dad is here. My 2 boys raced in front of the door, waiting for their dad to open it. Be careful, I reminded them as they were so energetic and full of excitement. And then it opened. My sons yelled as they saw their dad. They immediately gave him a huge hug, and Johnny, my husband, returned it to them. Oh, my boys, I missed you 2 so much. I smiled as I saw the 3 of them lovingly cuddling each other. Johnny saw me and he ran towards me right away. He kissed and hugged me. I missed you so much. I missed you too. He let go of the hug and his attention was diverted to the food. He was so surprised by the amount of food on the table. Wow, you've prepared so many dishes. This is perfect for our guests as well. I paused for a moment out of surprise. Guests? Guests? What do you mean? Upon asking the question, my husband signaled a snap, and 2 girls walked in. Who are they? A girl who looks to be in her early 30s and a 3-year-old girl. The confusion was so evident on my face and in my son's. Dad, who are they? Johnny walked towards them and formally introduced them to us. Everyone, this little girl is Maya, my niece. Boys, she's your baby cousin. And this lady right here is Zara, her nanny. As Johnny was introducing them, the little girl flashed a sweet smile at us and she was undeniably charming. At the same time, the nanny was quite snobbish. Niece, you don't have any siblings. You are an only child. I needed clarification. I know my husband very well. He doesn't have any siblings, and if he ever has a niece, I would recognize him because I know all of them. And if it is his niece, why didn't he tell me that he's going to bring his niece home? I'm not being mean. I'm so happy to welcome her here, but at least have some decency to tell me what's happening. My love. As he said those words, he returned to me and reached for my hands as if asking for a favor. Maya is my cousin's daughter. He got sick, so he told me to take care of her and insisted on bringing the nanny. Can they stay with us for a while?" I heaved a sigh and nodded. I never questioned my husband about his decisions because I trusted him. I have always been so empathetic, and seeing the child's face, my heart melted and allowed me to take her in together with her nanny. Yes, of course. That night, we sat together and spent dinner as a family. I also took the opportunity of getting to know more about my niece. She is such a bubbly kid and her energy matches my son's. It's short since we talked about having a sister, right? Yes, we talked about it earlier and now look, we have a baby sister. They hugged her and Maya giggled. The three of them looked so good together. But throughout the dinner, Zara, Maya's niece, was very silent. As soon as we finished eating, I instantly cleaned the table, and good thing Zara took the initiative to help me. As we were cleaning the dishes, she never spoke a word, so I decided to start the conversation. How long have you been Maya's nanny?" She gave me a sharp look as if I had said something wrong, but she immediately changed her reaction. What was that? What was the meaning of that?" 3 years, she replied. She took the dishes from the sink and volunteered to wash them, but I insisted on doing it because she's our guest. No, it's okay, I'm the nanny here." She said those words with no emotions and emphasized nanny. I wondered, why is she so grumpy? Has this always been her personality? The following weeks were so bright. Maya and her personality have lifted the spirits inside the house even more. Her bubbly laughs and positive energy gives off positivity in every corner of our house. She is so clingy and active, and she is very charming, allowing her to instantly connect with everyone, especially with me. One day, I was baking cookies when she decided to count herself in. She stood on the chair next to me and I allowed her to hold a whisk. "Go on, little baker, you can do it." I gave her a practice dough to play with. She cutely imitated what I was doing, and it truly melts my heart to see a little girl being so interested in baking. "Do you like eating cookies, Maya?" "Yes, Maya loves cookies. Daddy brings a big box of these." She pointed to the freshly baked cookies that I put inside the box. It is always known that babies recognize even the tiniest details because they are great observers, and I was shocked when she pointed to the cookie box. It's impossible if she saw those boxes already because I only give them to my husband when he wants to bring cookies to his office. Meanwhile, Zara was making lunch on the other side of the kitchen, and she could hear us. "Have you already tasted this cookie?" "Yes, favorite cookie," she answered me while her attention was fixed on the dough she was playing with. What does that mean? Her attention was diverted to the decoration materials on the other side of the table. Her interest skyrocketed, and with that, she tried to reach for them, but her chair wobbled and she slipped. But before she hit the ground, Zara stormed towards her and saved her quickly. She carried Maya, who was recovering from the sudden accident. Zara was holding her like she was her child, and she has sharp maternal instincts. When everything had finally sunk in, Maya cried so loud, "Hush now, baby, it's all right." I was so amazed by her reflexes and the way she comforted Maya. She carried her until the baby fell asleep. She tucked her into bed, and when she came back to the kitchen, I tried to talk to her. "You have a deep connection with Maya, right?" "Of course, she's my boss's kid. I already spent 3 years taking care of her. It's natural that I already grew fond of the child." I smiled at her. It's scarce for someone to care for the ones they babysit genuinely. The relationship that they have is very unique. Maya is fortunate to have someone like you. That child is not hard to love. She is very charming. I looked at Zara. If I'm not mistaken, she gave me another sharp side eye, as if she's staring at my soul because I said something wrong. She's very intimidating. It's the weekend, and my mother Leslie called me because she needed help for her birthday party. It is also fine with me because the boys went to their soccer practice while Johnny took Maya to the mall with Sarah. I went out for groceries and to buy stuff for her party. Unfortunately, we stumbled upon my mother-in-law and father-in-law. On top of that, my mother and my in-laws are best mates. Barna, Roger, it's been so long since we've seen each other. How are you? We're fine. It's good to see you well and still beautiful as ever, Les. They kissed each other's cheeks as well as my father-in-law. Oh, where's Johnny? He went out with Maya. By the way, your grandniece Maya lives with us now. Did Johnny tell you about that? Grandniece? Who is that? I can see the confusion in her eyes and I'm also confused. They may know about her. Johnny told me that Maya is his distant cousin's daughter. I don't know about that girl. I'm not entirely familiar with that name. My mind is full of questions. Who is Maya? Is she my husband's niece? Why don't my in-laws don't know about her? After that brief meeting, I went home immediately. As I entered the house, it is so quiet. The boys aren't back home yet, but my husband is already here because his car is parked in the garage. But I cannot hear Maya's or Zara's voice. Where were they anyway? I headed to the primary bedroom, and I was so shocked when I heard Zara's voice from inside. Is she having an affair with my husband? My hands are shaking as I can sense the nervousness creeping in. I told you I'm just putting up with her attitude. She's so dull and plain, I cannot wait to leave her. Is he talking about me? Stop giving me false hopes. You brought us here because you promised us a good life. But look what I'm doing here. I'm a maid. It is only for now, darling. I promise you, she'll be out of our lives in no time. You better make that happen. I am sick of her acting like a mom to Maya and treating me like a fucking maid. I want her out of our lives forever. I am sick of her as well. She's a pain in the ass, and I cannot stand her basic personality. She's not as exciting as you, darling. As I'm listening to their conversation, I can feel my heart aching. I knew there was something going on with them. It is so random that my husband would bring home a 3-year-old baby and a nanny. But wait, does this mean that Maya is my husband's daughter? No way, this can't be happening. I wanted to confront them, but I stopped myself. I have to wait for the right time and the right moment so that I can expose them. I want them to feel embarrassment and shame. With that, I pretended I did not hear their conversation. I opened the door and saw them sitting next to each other at the edge of the bed. In comparison, Maya was lying on the bed. Zara's eyes widened as she saw me, and because of that she instantly pretended to clean the bed. Funny how she quickly thought of something as if she didn't diss me early on. Hey, how was your day? I asked my husband. His actions were slightly calculated as if he was so intimidated by me. It was great. Maya had fun. Yes, and by the looks of it, she got knocked out. I can see that she had so much fun. Count me in next time, I said jokingly. Zara scoffed out of nowhere, as if there's going to be next time. I was shocked by what she said. Zara, what are you saying? Zara laughed. Oh, Johnny, are we going to pretend that she didn't hear us? She's been behind that door for a couple of minutes. She's just dull and not dumb. I'm going to give that to you, though. She rolled her eyes and crossed her arms. Where did she get all that guts? Shut up! My husband whispered to her, but loud enough that I could hear it. But Zara did not listen to him. Starting today, you will no longer treat me as a maid. I am Maya's mother, and you have no right to degrade me nor pretend like a mother to her. Does this mean that she's my husband's mistress? I looked at my husband, and I could see the regret on his face. You're his mistress? Mistress? Hell no! He loves me so much, and Maya is our child. We are a happy family. Now, do us a favor and leave us the fuck alone. He's already tired of you, right, darling? I can feel my eyes welling and my heart aching in pain. Yes. With that response from my husband, I can feel the world shut me off. What are you talking about? I asked him in between sobs. I can hear Zara's marking from my peripheral vision. You no longer excite me, Pearl. I want you out of my life. I was just standing there like a fool, hoping my husband would take his words back. I am happy with Zara. She gave me a lovely daughter, and a dull girl like you was able to provide me with sons, which I adore. But it won't change that I fell for another, and you mean nothing to me. My heart breaks. I do not want to hear anything from them anymore, so I leave the room immediately. I went straight to my mother's house. I texted my boys to go home to Granny's house. Good thing tomorrow is her birthday. I can spare myself from all the explaining to do. I told my mother everything, and she was shocked by what she had discovered. Are you sure? That idiot has the guts to bring his mistress and daughter into your house? Your own house? For goodness sake! Pearl, leave that guy alone. He's not worth it. I was feeling the pain in my heart. I spent the entire night crying. The next day, it was my mother's birthday. I tried to compose myself and feel better for my kids and my mother. The venue was packed with people that are close to my family. On top of that, the event was full of laughter and immensely enjoyable, which deviated my thoughts from what transpired last night. However, the pain came back when I saw my in-laws coming in. They reminded of me of my husband and his wrongdoings. I wanted to tell them what had happened, but I told myself to be patient and wait for the right time. I'm curious what the three of them are doing in the house. They're celebrating because I'm finally out of their life. I hope they're having fun because it won't last long. As the party was over, I told my boys to stay at their grannies for a while. I headed home, but I was not alone. I brought with me my father-in-law and my mother-in-law. As soon as we arrived, I guided them to the primary bedroom. I opened the door using my duplicate key, and the moment the door opened widely, we saw the three of them cuddling like a happy family. I let my in-laws watch them sleeping peacefully. This is the truth. I told them softly. I can see my father-in-law's anger rising. He was about to grab Johnny, but I stopped him. Let's wait for them to wake up. We waited almost 20 minutes until Maya woke up and saw us. She smiled at me and walked towards me. Mommy! She called me her mother. I hugged her so tight. I hate my husband and his mistress, but I will never get angry at this child. She's too precious to be hated, and after all, she has no fault in this. After a few seconds, my husband and his mistress woke up. They saw me and my in-laws waiting inside the room. Zara immediately got up, and the look on her face was indescribable. On the other hand, Johnny quickly got out of bed and swiftly came near his mother. Mom, Dad, why are you here? His dad gave him a sharp look. What are you doing with this woman? Are you two having an affair? You disrespected your wife and your marriage? This is not the kind of man that I raised you to be. Think about your sons. Dad, please, I can explain. She's not my mistress. What? Please don't lie to them, Johnny. She's just a nanny. I don't know why she was on my bed. I laughed at what he said. He's such a terrible liar. So, she just magically appeared beside you? She just magically came into our house bringing her daughter? Stop what you're doing, Johnny. You're caught in the act. Just face your shame. Mom, please, I can explain. I am so disappointed. You're not the son that I raised. My husband started crying and turned to me. My love, I am so sorry. Zara threatened me to bring her here. I didn't ask for this. Zara walked towards him and slapped him. You are the one who insisted to bring me here because you want to marry me and you promised me that you will leave your wife. Johnny ignored her as he was just crying. From now on, the two of you will face the consequences of your actions. I will legally divorce you, Johnny, and the both of you will be sued for adultery. You cannot do this to me. Yes, I can. You did this to yourself. You ruined a family all because of your selfishness. Think about your baby and the future that she will have. Do you want her to suffer or have a prosperous life? If you want her to have a prosperous one, you must not have it by stealing and ruining others' relationships. Your intentions are unclear and you are risking your child's life. The shame on their faces were unexplainable. Because of that, mother-in-law and father-in-law disowned my husband, stripped him of his inheritance and gave it to our sons, and right there and then I filed the divorce papers. The next day, we appealed in court for Maya's full custody. After all of that, liars will always win at some point, but when the time comes and their lies are revealed, they become nothing and pointless.